A star-studded undercard with Artur Beterbiev and Dimtry Bivol is announced for October 12th in Saudi Arabia. The first fight on the card is an upcoming light heavyweight unification bout featuring Dimtry Bivol, boasting a record of 20-0 with 11 KOs, against Artur Beterbiev, who holds a perfect knockout record of 18-0 in 18 fights. The fight has been officially announced and has ignited none other than Dimtry Bivol for quite a long time now. Dimtry Bivol shared his enthusiasm about the confirmed date for his upcoming fight, reflecting the anticipation and frequent inquiries he's received about when the bout would occur. He expressed relief and gratitude that the fight was finally scheduled, highlighting this as a critical opportunity to achieve his career goals.
But I guess that tells you all you need to know about how excited everyone around the world is for yourself against Artur Beterbiev.
Of course, everyone excited because many people ask me about this fight, when it will happen, and I ask many times my team when they will do this fight. Things got that now we have a date, and I have this opportunity to.
David Benavidez, a prominent figure in the super middleweight division, has discussed the top fighters Dimtry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, who are renowned in the light heavyweight category. While Benavidez did not fight either Bivol or Beterbiev, he broke down their styles. He acknowledged Dimtry Bivol's speed and agility, highlighting how Bivol's ability to move swiftly around the ring makes him a difficult target. However, when it comes to sheer power, Benavidez viewed Artur Beterbiev as the more formidable threat.
Who do you think poses the harder fight for you between Bivol and Beterbiev? Who presents the more difficult fight?
I think probably Beterbiev.
Yeah.
Because he's 14-0 with 14 knockouts, or 15-0 15 knockouts. The thing I see about him is a little bit different. It might be an easier way to beat him is that he's really flat-footed, but he has a lot of power.
Yeah.
The thing about Bivol, he's more of a complete fighter.
Right.
He can hit you from here, he can move here. You know, you can't hit him. He's moving, using the whole ring.
Artur Beterbiev's last performance was against Callum Smith. There, Beterbiev demonstrated his formidable power, securing a victory by knocking down Smith in the 7th round, thereby retaining his IBF, WBC, and WBO light heavyweight titles. Eddie Hearn shared his reviews after this and called Beterbiev a heavenly creature who is not willing to lose any fight anywhere sooner.
But what did you make of what we saw in the ring tonight?
Just like you're fighting a guy that's not human. You know, he's not breathing. Every shot hurts, even in the clinches you see how strong he is. I'm not sure I've seen anything like it before, really.
Looney B also expressed his enthusiasm for the upcoming fight featuring Artur Beterbiev, predicting a quick end to the bout. He highlighted Beterbiev's ability to handle larger opponents effectively, comparing him to fighters like Callum Smith, who could potentially compete in the cruiserweight division. Looney B's confidence in Beterbiev's capabilities demonstrates his expectation for a dominant performance. He stated, "I'm excited for the fight. It's going to be on y'all know who I'm rocking with. I think Beterbiev, I don't think it'll go past 7 or 8. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Someone like Callum Smith, who's extremely big, who possibly can fight at cruiserweight, Beterbiev got him out of there in 7. Continuing his analysis, Looney B elaborated on Beterbiev's tactical prowess in the ring, particularly his ability to cut off the ring and effectively target his opponent's body. This strategy, he believes, contributes to Beterbiev's success in wearing down opponents quickly, leading to early stoppages in fights. He added, Beterbiev really can fight at super middleweight, my size. I can't see him. I don't think he moves that well for more rounds than that, and Arthur cuts the ring off extremely well, and just the beating on them, the shoulders, the hips, and I think Bivol is going to get stopped fairly fast." Lonnie B passionately defended the performance of fighters who maintain peak levels of performance, Despidia Ging, using the example of a seasoned athlete who continues to excel. He dismissed concerns about layoffs and age, arguing that for athletes with extensive amateur backgrounds and exceptional skills, such factors are irrelevant. He pointed out how critics initially doubted the athlete's capabilities due to age, only to be proven wrong as the athlete continued to dominate younger opponents.
That many amateur fights and you that good, layoffs mean nothing. Like, and like just look at what he's doing. First they said, oh, Beterbiev's getting old. He fights at 39 years old and crushes Callum Smith. They're like, oh, well, he's getting better. But now like, oh, maybe it's the layoff. Now listen, the man is just good. Get over it. He's a freak of nature. His age just don't matter. He's that good. Sorry. Look at LeBron James. How old is LeBron James? 40, 39, 40. Still got it. You got those freaking natures, you know what I'm saying? Look at Lonnie B, 39. Still get busy.
Dimtry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, both light heavyweight champions, bring distinct strengths to their upcoming unification bout. Bivol, with a record of 23-0 and known for his exceptional defensive skills and tactical boxing, has successfully defended his WBA title against multiple contenders. Beterbiev, holding a perfect knockout record of 20-0 in his fights, dominates with unmatched power and aggression, holding the IBF, WBC, and WBO titles. The recent knockout victory by Artur Beterbiev over Callum Smith has significantly elevated his stature within the boxing community, earning him considerable respect and altering perceptions about his place among the light heavyweight elite. This shift sparked a debate between boxing analysts Spencer Oliver and Simon Jordan regarding Beterbiev's ranking against Dimtry Bivol. Spencer Oliver expressed a newfound preference for Bivol over Beterbiev, influenced by Beterbiev's impressive performance. However, Simon Jordan countered this perspective by emphasizing the importance of considering a fighter's entire career record. He pointed out that it would be premature to place Beterbiev above Bivol based solely on one outstanding fight, especially when Bivol has consistently demonstrated high-caliber performances, including his notable victory against Canelo Alvarez.
I was big-time Bivol before this fight. Now I'm Beterbiev.
So you sort of run with the hare and hunt with the hounds, do you?
Absolutely.
So you're easily swayed. So
Well,
Bivol's performance
Hold on a
against
minute.
Lyndon Arthur, where he just boxed Lyndon's ear off for 12 rounds and ultimately showed you the quality and class.
Yeah.
And his performances against Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
And his performances against Gilberto Ramirez, right?
Yeah.
All of those you're going to discount.
Right, yeah, can I
because
tell you
Beterbiev had
why?
one performance.
Can I tell you why?
You're a shocker, Spence.
Are you going to listen to me or not?
Run with a hare and
Can I
hunt
tell
with
you
the
why?
hounds. Tell me.
Because we look at the power of Beterbiev. To the people that you've just mentioned, Canelo Alvarez, who's not a light heavyweight, let's have it right.
My gut tells me Beterbiev.
Yeah.
But that's because I've got in the back of my mind Bivol versus Craig Richards.
But before this fight, you would have gone Bivol, right? I mean, I think we're pretty much in the same space.
Not necessarily.
Is that right?
No, I don't bend and flex like you. I'm consistent.
Joe Smith Jr. discussed his experiences in the ring, particularly highlighting Dimtry Bivol's formidable skills. He regarded Bivol as one of his toughest opponents, appreciating his comprehensive fighting style. Smith said, "In my opinion, I felt Bivol was the tougher fight for me. He's an all-around fighter, but both fighters are very skilled. Beterbiev, he's very accurate with his punches. He hits you where he wants to, but, you know, I would be looking forward to seeing the two of them fight." Smith further elaborated on the competitive nature of a potential matchup involving Bivol and his admiration for both fighters' abilities. He commented on the unpredictability of such a high-level fight, recognizing the exceptional skill and accuracy of Bivol's potential opponent. He continued, "It's a tough fight. Anything could happen. Beterbiev got that punch and skill, the accuracy. But Bivol, he's an all-around fighter, so I'd like to see it. Bivol might be an excellent fighter, but we can't forget that Beterbiev is the Picasso of all." Joe Rogan commended Artur Beterbiev's remarkable record in boxing, highlighting his unique achievement in the sport. Rogan emphasized that Beterbiev, being 19-0 in his career, stands out as the only fighter globally who maintains a 100% knockout ratio. According to Rogan, Beterbiev's capability to knock out every opponent he faces in the ring demonstrates his exceptional power and precision in boxing.
He's 18-0 with 18 knockouts. He's the only world champion that's in boxing today that has a 100% knockout ratio for every fight he's ever been in. Because Joe Smith Jr. is an animal. 2 rounds.
Roy Jones Jr. assessed the matchup between Artur Beterbiev and Dimtry Bivol, expressing a view that it's not an even 50-50 fight. He noted Beterbiev's age, 38, and his history of being knocked down as factors that tilt the odds in favor of Bivol, especially considering Bivol's impressive performance against Canelo Alvarez. He noted Beterbiev's age and vulnerabilities, contrasting them with Bivol's undefeated record and remarkable performance against Canelo Alvarez. Jones explained, "No, not 50-50, because Beterbiev is 38 years old and has been down. Yes, he has. Bivol has never been down and was there with who at the time was pound-for-pound best, Canelo Alvarez, who made him look like nothing. So I'm not saying it's 50-50. Beterbiev got everything to show me to bring it back to 50-50. Continuing his assessment, Jones acknowledged Beterbiev's strengths, but maintained that Bivol holds the upper hand due to his consistency and past performance. He added, "Right now Bivol has the advantage, 60-40. Beterbiev is a hell of a guy and a hell of a fighter and has awesome some power, but he also has been down. So when I look at that, I look at stuff from where I used to see things their point and the way I saw it. If somebody else knocked you down, I gotta get you down. Roy Jones Jr. highlighted the formidable challenge of facing Artur Beterbiev, emphasizing his exceptional punching power, which he considers possibly the best ever in the division. Jones described the tactical risks fighters must consider due to Beterbiev's capabilities, noting that while Bivol holds an overall advantage in skill and fight strategy, Beterbiev's knockout power alone makes it a potentially even match.
Now, that's a hell of a punch to walk through to get him down, though. So it's a very dangerous game that Bivol got to play because Beterbiev is the best puncher probably ever in that division. You understand me? So it's a great fight. If it's 50-50, it's because of his puncher power. Maybe he may land and maybe he may not. That's only 50-50. But as far as the overall fight game goes, Bivol has...
Shakur Stevenson, boasting an undefeated record of 22-0 with 10 KOs, is set to defend his WBC lightweight title against former IBF super featherweight champion Joe Cordina, who holds a record of 17-1 with 9 KOs. This matchup, part of a one-fight deal Shakur reportedly signed with Matchroom Boxing, might not captivate U.S. audiences, as Shakur's popularity has waned since a lackluster performance against Edwin de los Santos and Artem Harutyunyan. Critics suggest Shakur is focusing more on the financial aspect, as evidenced by his recent social media posts, emphasizing money over fan approval. Joe Cordina is making a significant leap from super featherweight to lightweight to challenge Shakur Stevenson. Eddie Hearn spoke about Joe Cordina's ambition to take on challenging fights, particularly his interest in moving up in weight to face Shakur Stevenson. Hearn highlighted the audacity of Cordina's decision, noting that typically, fighters seek easier matchups when stepping up a division. He praised Cordina's desire for significant legacy-building bouts, recognizing the risks but also the potential rewards of such a move. Hearn commented, "Ideally, moving up a weight division, you'd probably want an easier fight than Shakur Stevenson, but Joe is at the age where he wants to be involved in the biggest fights in the sport." Now that Eddie Hearn has signed Shakur with a 2-fight deal, probably with Joe Cordina and then next with William, Eddie Hearn expressed high admiration for Shakur Stevenson, noting his long-standing vocal support even before officially promoting him. Hearn believes that Stevenson has the potential to be not just a national, but a global superstar, praising his edgy, confident persona and exceptional talent.
I feel like I've promoted Shakur Stevenson for years, really, because I've talked about him for years, you know, and I do that. I think that's something that's a bit unusual for promoters, to talk about the ability and, you know, the potential superstar status of a fighter that's not even theirs. But that's how high I rate this young man.
Hearn is committed to providing Stevenson with the necessary platform and promotional push to match his skills, beginning with a 2-fight plan involving Joe Cena and potentially leading into a bout with Zappa. He emphasized his intent to demonstrate the value they can offer Stevenson and to work closely to advance his career further with big names like Gervonta Davis and everyone.
And I know how good this kid is. He may be unbeatable. I know he's a pound-for-pound star. There's something about Shakur Stevenson's mentality that gives me confidence that he beats everybody. I think he's been massively undersold. I think he should be not just an American superstar, but a global superstar. I think he's edgy. I think he's ballsy. I think he's unbelievably talented. And I'm going to do everything I can to give him the platform and the promotional push that his ability deserves. And you know, I'm honoured to welcome him to the stable amongst an elite group of global fighters. But, you know, for Shakur, the plan is this 2-fight plan of Joe Cordina, and if he's triumphant, into the Zepeda fight. And we'll show him during that period our value. We'll work together closely. And then we'll move forward, Gervonta.
On the other hand, Joe Cordina is gearing up to come back from his first professional defeat, where he lost his IBF super featherweight title to Anthony Kakas in the 8th round. Moving up to face Shakur Stevenson at 135 pounds, Cordina faces a daunting challenge, but he still is the best contender standing for Shakur.
So Rakimov is probably next for Joe Cordina, but at the same time, the unification, Shakur Stevenson, you know, I don't see a fighter in the world right now with a better chance of beating
Shakur Stevenson and Joe Cordina. We'll see.
Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson is adapting to a schedule change. His fight against William Zepeda now moved to February 2025 due to it being part of a larger event featuring notable boxers like Virgil Ortiz and Terence Crawford. Stevenson plans to stay sharp by facing Cordina in the interim, seeing this as an opportunity to maintain his momentum in the lightweight division. He mentioned on X, Zepeda pushed it back, the fight will happen in February. In a tweet, Shakur Stevenson shared his views on Joe Cordina, addressing Cordina's past performance challenges and future potential. Shakur reflected a nuanced understanding of the difficulties some boxers face when competing in weight classes that are not optimal for them. He wrote, "He was weak fighting at 130, he's a really good fighter, just was sucking himself down to make a weight he shouldn't have been making. I for sure wouldn't take dude lightly. But Zepeda doesn't want to fight just yet, so whoever it is going be, they went get this work." Meanwhile, Cordina also gave his remarks for Shakur Stevenson. Joe Cordina highly regarded Shakur Stevenson, recognizing him as a potential Hall of Famer and a formidable force in the pound-for-pound rankings. Cordina respects Stevenson's skills and achievements, yet he confidently sees himself as a serious contender capable of taking on such a challenge. Cordina stated, "It'd be an honor to share the ring with him. He's a future Hall of Famer and a pound-for-pound. He's got a free to be a future pound-for-pound great. So yeah, it'd be nice. But I back myself with anyone, and if anyone can beat him, it'd be me." He admired the whole weight class and spoke highly of all the other contenders, but at the same time declared himself as the best fighter who could break his winning streak of Shakur. He added, "There's a lot of good fighters in the division, but I just don't think anyone's technically good enough to beat him apart from myself." The third fight on the card highlights a return for Chris Eubank Jr. against Kamil Szeremeta, a matchup less anticipated due to Szeremeta's recent defeats, yet notable as Eubank seeks to maintain his momentum after avenging a previous loss to Liam Smith in July 2023. Chris Eubank Jr. enters the ring with a professional record of 33 wins, 3 losses, and no draws, showcasing a strong career with notable resilience and power. His opponent, Kamil Szeremeta, holds a record of 22 wins, 2 losses, and no draws. Known for his tactical ability, though he has struggled in fights against top-tier opponents. Eubank Jr., known for his dynamic boxing style and robust record, is heavily favored in this matchup. He brings a combination of speed, power, and technical skill that consistently puts him in the spotlight. Szeremeta, previously challenged by elite fighters like Gennady Golovkin, has a point to prove. Despite past setbacks, he remains a skilled contender known for his resilience and tactical approach. This bout not only provides Szeremeta a chance to rebound, but also allows Eubank Jr. to cement his status in the middleweight division further. This fight might give Eubank to go for a title shot, which he has not done for years now. George Groves reflected on his 2018 fight with Chris Eubank Jr., noting that while it feels like a long time has passed, Eubank Jr. hasn't achieved much since, particularly in terms of world title fights. Groves questioned Eubank Jr.'s career choices, suggesting his continued relevance in boxing is more about his marketable personality and less about his pugilistic skills. He pointed out Eubank Jr.'s ability to make headlines with his charismatic declarations, contrasting this with other fighters who might say the same things but don't receive the same attention.
My fight with him was in 2018.
Wow.
6 years ago now. And I think, well, it feels like a long time. It doesn't really feel like a long time, but it is a long time ago. And what has he done since? Nothing. Yeah, I don't think he's had a world title fight since. He is, I'm not exactly sure why, but he's the box office name. That's why he signed with Sky. Sky are looking for pay-per-view
Because he's charismatic,
fights.
George. He is charismatic.
Yeah, but he'll say, I'm going to fillet a steak, and that's headlines and everyone's going to read it, you know. But if Liam Smith said it, it's the same words. It's not going to make any difference.
Talking about Chris Eubank Jr.'s age and how he has wasted the years, Frank Martin gave his stance, saying that at this age, this is not the time for Chris Eubank to wait for big fights to come to him. He has to go after them to build a legacy.
You know, he's not like he's some youngster. He's got next generation. He's 34 years of age, 35 this year. So, you know, there's some great domestic fights. You know, Denzel, as I just said, for Hamza, for him to fight one of them, but he doesn't want to know.
The October 12th fight card, dubbed the Four Crown Showdown, promises a historic night in Riyadh. It will feature the first female boxing match in Saudi Arabia. Skye Nicholson will defend her WBC featherweight title against English contender Raven Chapman. This will be the first female boxing event ever in Saudi Arabia and will open the gates of new opportunities for female boxers coming up to that level. Adding to the excitement, the card features an all-British heavyweight rematch between Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley following their intense draw at the O2 Arena in March. Clark, expressing deep respect for Wardley, aims for a definitive victory in their upcoming bout. Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley endured a grueling 12-round battle in their previous encounter in London, which left both fighters visibly battered. Despite the intensity of their first match, Clark is eager to face Wardley again, aiming not just for victory, but for a decisive knockout to clearly establish his dominance. Fraser Clark expressed his intentions for the rematch against Fabio Wardley with determined clarity. He conveyed to Sky Sports his goal to secure a knockout victory, emphasizing that a mere win would not suffice. Clark stated, "I'm going in there to do one thing, and that's to knock Fabio Wardley out. Winning won't be enough for me. I want to put a job on him, but it will be a tough task just like the first one. May the best man win, but I'm backing myself." Despite the fierce rivalry, Clark also acknowledged growing mutual respect between the two competitors following their initial bout. He added, "I grew respect for Fabio after that first fight, so I have no trash talk. I think you see two competitors that just want to get the best out of each other and get their hands raised." Ade Oladipo shared his thoughts on the potential rematch between Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley. He noted that Wardley, despite lacking an amateur background, has significant potential for improvement if he fully dedicates himself to the sport. Oladipo suggested that Wardley's ceiling might be higher than Clark's, despite Clark's Olympic pedigree, because Wardley's raw talent and growth potential are substantial. He expressed enthusiasm for the fight, indicating that the winner could advance to European or fringe world-level competition, emphasizing that it's set to be a compelling bout.
Fair, because I thought we were going to see it again as soon as the referee raised both arms. I like it. I like it again. I still feel like Fabio's got room for improvement just because there was no amateur background, a white-collar background. And if he can really dedicate, and I'm talking really dedicate himself to the sport, then I feel like his ceiling just might be higher. I really do believe that than Fraser's, because Fraser's got all the Olympic... Like, that version of a fighter with that Olympic pedigree shouldn't be going toe-to-toe with someone that's never had an amateur background. So that's why I feel like maybe Fabio could get better. But I like it. I do like it. And whoever wins goes on to European fringe world level, but it's a good fight, really good fight.
Sitting at the same show, George Groves shared his predictions and emphasized the physical presence of both fighters. He described Wardley as a particularly imposing figure, a specimen of toughness and size. Groves acknowledged Clark's skills and Olympic background, suggesting that if Clark shows improvement, he could very well secure a victory in this bout. Groves expressed anticipation to see an enhanced performance from Clark, which could tilt the odds in his favor against the formidable Wardley.
I don't know. I've stood next to both guys and they are two big men.
Enormous.
Big men. But there's something about Wardley that just feels like he's a specimen, like he's just an enormous, tough guy. I think, how'd you beat a guy like that? But Fraser Clark's got the ability. I'd like to see an improved Fraser Clark. And if we see that, then I can see him winning.
Also on the card, the next fight is between IBF and the ring cruiserweight world champion Jai Opetaia faces English fighter Jack Massey, further establishing his presence after notable wins in the region earlier this year. Be sure to tune in, support your favorite fighters, and witness history in the making. Connect with us by subscribing to our channel and see who will rise to the challenge and who will redefine their legacies. Remember, every punch, every round counts. See you at the ring.